joining me today for my December Daily 2017 video series. So for today I've got days 18 and 19 for you. So day 18 was actually the first day we actually had a kind of the first full day in Bali on a holiday, and what we did was essentially just listening to Christmas music and doing some puzzles. So we brought some the jigsaw puzzles with us, and so that's what we did. So we sat on the balcony, overlook this kind of lake thing, and it was a really beautiful hotel. We went there last year as well, so that's why we had such a great time. So that's why we came back. And so this is going to be a slightly different kind of page for you, which is so it's kind of a fold up, and it's actually kind of double kind of piece. It's actually not going to go in the page protector. So the first piece here, which is just some journaling. So I typed up some journaling on my computer, and I also print out this piece of this photo here, which I think it's definitely smaller than 3x8. I'd say it's probably more like 2.5 by 7 or 6.5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the journaling piece in front of that acetate piece. So the acetate piece itself came as a 6x8, so it's a bit bigger than 6x8 to be honest, and I cut that in half. And now I am going to use that on this page to attach some journaling, and on the back of it I'll put some a photo of that flower there, which I took from the balcony of the hotel where we were staying. And now I am using this piece here, which is this plastic piece from the Alibut's kit, so the main kit, and I've used the red tape to attach that, and now I'm going to attach a photo behind it, and then I'm using another plastic piece, a rubber piece there to go at the back. And I guess the main reason for attaching kind of essentially the same size product, the same size piece to the back and the front is actually because you can actually see the adhesive as you attach the piece on transparent. I think you can use a Xeron if you don't want the adhesive to show, but what I found is that even the Xeron, sometimes you can actually see the adhesive. Most of the time I don't really care, but I think it's kind of still nice. It's nice to actually cover that up using just another piece if you already have that on hand. And now I'm just going to use the ivory tab here to attach to on the right side of the transparent piece. And I essentially going to use, so I stamped just in a kind of red ink, and that was from the Elliott Woods branded ink pad, and I then used the date stamp to stamp the date for day 18. And now moving on to the next part of day 18, just a few more photos. And so I've cut these photos. So these photos are a little bit smaller than 6x8. So it's 8 in terms of, it's probably a bit higher than 8. I decided to kind of measure that before I printed out the photo. So I essentially measure out how high I want it to be, and I just use the page protector and I measure that out, and that's about, I'd say it's about 8.5 inches high. And then it's in terms of the width itself, because I didn't actually wanted to go all the way, it was about just a little bit short of 4.5 inches in terms of the photo that you saw there. So it will hang outside out to the so you can see the photo. Sorry, behind the transparent piece, and I kind of like it that way. And the last thing I did there was just attaching a tab that came in the Alibut's kit. Now the next thing I'm doing here is I'm moving on to, what am I doing? Well, I'm moving on to the next day, which is day 19. And what we did that day, we went to Starbucks actually. And so I am going to create my own transparent piece here. I kind of want to use this Christmas word I think it's called Messy Christmas Words. I think Christmas Face, a Christmas word. I'm not entirely sure. It's actually from the Elliotwood store, and I do have her normal set. It's like a normal Messy Words bubble, and so this one is the Christmas version of that. I am using the Stays On ink there, so I believe the colour itself, I think it's called Timber, so Timber Brown. And to be honest with you, it didn't work out particularly well. It kind of looks like it bleeds a little bit onto, you know, it's not as crisp as I wanted it to be, or if you were to print that out. But I'm okay with that, largely because it's one of those things that these are things are handmade, so I kind of like it. You know, I'm okay with it being somewhat, you know, imperfect. And now the next thing I am doing here is I'm kind of picked out the card. So this is the journaling card from the Elliotwood kit. And what am I doing? So I want to actually create a pop-up card. So I'm just looking through various cards that I've got in terms of what I want to use, and looking through, you know, which one works well, which one doesn't. I've got a bit to save for this day, so that's why I want to kind of have a pop-up card, to create my own pop-up card for this. And now I'm just thinking, you know, what I want to do. I did consider cutting up a card before, but now I've decided not to do that. And I'm probably going to add some kind of bits and pieces down the at the back, down in the bottom piece, the piece behind that main piece there. So I'm just writing out my journaling. So as I said, it's relatively, there's a bit to say on that day. So we went to Starbucks in Bali, which is kind of like walking distance away from where we were at the hotel, and they have kind of different things than what we have in Melbourne in Australia. So we tried those things. I just don't think what it was. Okay, so it was so we had the toffee nut crunch, which we do have in Melbourne. We also had the nougat latte, which we don't have in Melbourne. So I thought that was kind of cool to try something new. We also talk about the fact that I had decaf latte because I already had 3 coffees that morning. So it's one of those things that you can only drink so many coffees, right? So so that's what I did, and now it's just kind of writing out how relaxing it was, just kind of like hanging out with Andrew. And the drink that Andrew had was a cold one, and they have this kind of green whipped cream thing, which I think was minty or something. So that was pretty cool. And now I'm just kind of lining up underline the journaling there. Now, what am I doing next? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some cards there. Well, actually, I'm actually going to add some kind of, what do you call it, the embellishment piece. I decided, I believe, to kind of rewrite the journaling a little bit so that I can fit that die cut piece. So I'm just using the bottom of one of the kind of cards that we have. So I think it's from the 3x8 journaling book, from one of the 3x8 journaling books we have from the previous years, from one of the previous years. And so now I am going to try to attach that using this washi tape. Now, this washi tape, I believe I've got from, I'm trying to think where I got this from. I think it might have been from the Frecklefond shop. So when they had a sale on years ago, I essentially just bought a bunch of things, and I still have like a box of it, essentially, various colors, various pattern, and all these things. And you know, it's been working really well. I didn't have to buy any more I haven't bought any more for a long time, so that has been working really well. And now I'm just kind of working out, you know, how, you know, where I need to end my journaling. I kind of wrote it a little bit smaller than I was going to, and I essentially cut some of the words out, like, you know, so super awesome. I kind of didn't really need that, so I thought, you know, I can cut that out. And now I'm just kind of, you know, using that red ink there. I believe it is called Pendleton, and so the ink pad is called Pendleton from Allied Woods, and I am just kind of using the kind of foam piece there to kind of ink the edges of the piece, of the die cut piece. And so I went away and now came back for, I went away largely because just to make sure that the transparent piece there is fully dry before I touch it. And now I'm just thinking I want to add the number onto this piece, but I don't really want to cover the whole thing up. So now I'm just kind of looking through the various chipboard pieces. Can I use this one, and which one should I use, etc. And kind of going back and forth really. And now thinking I want to use this card here, but the frame itself is probably a bit too big, and I want something behind it so that you know, the number itself would pop out, would pop off the page. So I decided to go with that frame with these letter stickers, so these number stickers from the Allied Woods store. So you can get these stickers here from Allied Woods store. I'm not sure whether she still sells them, but you know, if you're interested, check her website. She might still have them. And just in case you're interested in the color of the alpha stickers, it's called Pendleton. The kind of the same color, red color that I've used for the same red color for the ink pad. And now I am just thinking, do I want to add something else? What do I want to add? I kind of feel like I want to add something, but I couldn't find something that would fit there, I guess. And so I'm just kind of moving around thinking, do I want to put a kind of what do you call it, the pen paper behind it? Decided not to, and I am just gonna add that piece there, and I'm probably gonna back that with another piece of something. And now I'm just kind of trimming that down a little bit larger because that piece is so bulky, with all the chipboard piece on transparent sleeve, so I need to kind of trim that down a little bit. And to decorate that photo, the 3x4 photo on the bottom left there, I decided to go with this piece here, this chipboard piece, which I believe came in the Allied Woods kit. Now, I also at Starbucks, I also bought a card. So I got a card, the Christmas card that I think it's like the, what do you call it, the gift card thing that they have, and yeah, and it's a different one from what we got in Melbourne, so I thought it's kind of cool to collect that. Anyway, so here's some close-up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And I have to apologize, I'm a bit rusty. I kind of narrating this video a year after I actually did the project itself, largely because the computer hasn't working and there was other things that's going on. Anyway, as I said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye!